self-control. Her gravity is all that I know. She's over me. She's over me. She comes with her hypnotic dance. She holds me here with only a glance. She's over me. She's over me. The claws in my heart, I can't let go, I'm breaking apart, controlling me, controlling me. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Paranormal Portal, Bedtime Stories from Beyond. I'm your host, Brent Thomas, and we are underway here on the Bedtime Stories. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you had a great day. I guess it's mostly behind you now, and especially as I'm on the West Coast, it's hard to remember. You guys are even further ahead than me, so hope everything's been wonderful. I hope you're all tucked in. I hope you're comfy, and I hope you're ready to go because, well, it's time for bed. Another fun-filled evening I got planned for you all tonight. Sorry. I just had to try that out, see if the spooky stuff was working. What do you guys think? No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to get all theatrical up in here. This is about as theatrical as I get. You know, just a little decoration and fun. So, but I hope you're having a great night, and thanks so much for being here on the portal. Good to see you, Melissa. Nice of you to stop in. Where's the hubby? He's telling me he's going to have to go see the principal if he doesn't get here pretty quick. So, but anyway, love you all. Thank you all for so much for coming in. It's great to see you, Sherry and Rivers, Gemini, Digger Dog, Rob, Bigfoot Michigan Rob, Lisa, Heilman. Good to see you. Who am I missing? I'm actually just using the regular list because that other one sucks. So let's see. I got Digger. I got Bigfoot Michigan Rob. I got me. Simon's in here. Good to see you, Simon. Elaine Clifford. Lewis is here. There's Rob again. Renee Harvey. Good to see you. Rand Electric. Excellent. Great to see you. Duck Sauce is here. And again, Sherry is here. Good to see you, Sherry. Awesome. You've been making the shows. I'm honored. Thank you so much. And she, ladies and gentlemen, she is an amazingly talented makeup artist. She's just brilliant. Her work is just astonishing. So what do we got next? Nellie. Hi, Nellie. Good to see you as well. So I think that's everybody Aussie Tiger just came in. Good to see you. I always miss you. I said Rivers, didn't I? I'm sorry if I didn't. Rivers, you are here. But I didn't look at the other list. So if your name wasn't in the... Oh, yeah, there it was up above, too. Well, Rivers, I saved the best for the last. And that's all I'm going to say. So, all right, guys. I hope you are ready to go because... Oh, hi, Taz. Good to see you. It's wonderful to see you in here. Anybody else I'm missing? I got everybody now. I don't want to hurt any feelings ever because, every one of you guys is incredibly special to me. That you come and hang out with me while I'm doing the show is nothing short of amazing. So let's see. But I got a story pulled up for you here. In fact, I got several after this too. But the first one, oh, you're welcome. It's true. You're brilliant. I mean, the way you do that, and she does like Sherry does like Hollywood style effects. She does glamour makeup. She does this really cool things with colors, and she just got a brilliant eye. It's really incredible. So. First story tonight, Missouri, or Missouri. For some of those people that live there, it's Missouri. So whatever the hell it's called. No, I'm just kidding. I don't ever mean to offend anybody when I say things like that. It's just me being cheeky is all. So Missouri is, it says, I'm attending college at the southern part of Missouri, and I've heard many ghost stories about dorms. And before my incident, I really hadn't heard any of the rumors about my dorm, so it's not like I was really freaking myself out or anything. It was about a month into the first semester of my freshman year, and my dorm is a freshman dorm, and it's also one of the older ones. So obviously it's full of hyper first-year college students that are excited about their newly found freedom. I'll bet. I'll bet you they're a mess. It was about 2 a.m., and my dorm has a community bathroom, and it had about 6 bathroom stalls and about 5 to 6 shower stalls, and I'd been awoken by whoever was above my room because they were always bouncing a basketball and moving their furniture around. So I decided to go out to get up and use the bathroom. And I went down the hall and was proceeding to do my business in one of the stalls. And there was no one else in the bathroom but me. And the door to the bathroom is really loud. So I would have known if someone else had come in after me. And all of a sudden I heard someone run really fast to the front of the bathroom stalls and into the handicap stall at the end of the row. And then I heard a burst of whispers, and it sounded like 100 people were whispering all at once. I really freaked out and left the bathroom as soon as I could. I didn't tell my roommate until later because I really didn't want to freak her out. The next night I was awoken again by the people that lived above my room. This always happened probably 4 or 5 times a week since I'd been down at school, and that night I was basically pissed because I was so tired of it happening. And the next day, I went downstairs to talk to the hall director and the boss, who was the boss of the dorm, and tell him about it. And I told him, and I was just so tired of being woken up almost every night. I told him I didn't want to get anyone in trouble, but it was just starting to get ridiculous. The sound kept continuing, and I just tried to ignore them, since the hall director said he would take care of it. And finally, it was about 2 weeks later, and nothing stopped. So I went back downstairs and asked if he had talked to the room above me. And he told me this statement. I don't know how to say this, but no one lives in that room. It's for special needs people, and we do not have any living in the dorm this year. I was shocked, and I asked him if anyone had a key to the room, and he said absolutely not. And he was the only one that did, and the last time he was in there was last summer. Until my last day in that dorm, the noises continued, but nobody was there. Ooh, it gives me chills. I don't know. That would be creepy, though, if there's nobody up there and you hear that crap. Now, I will say, though, that it may very well not even be a physical phenomena. Many people have reported in hauntings that they'll be like sitting in the living room, and just for an example, and this is a true example that I've heard many times, but they'll be sitting in the living room watching television, and all of a sudden they'll hear all hell break loose in the kitchen, which is right next door. Like there's dishes flying and smashing and stuff, and they'll get up and run in there, and nothing is disturbed. So it does appear that spirits can make these auditory hallucinations. It seems they don't have any trouble doing that, so it may very well not be dragging furniture around, even though it sounds like it, or bouncing a ball. but it maybe can create that sound phenomena for that person. And again, I think in some cases, those sound phenomena are more telepathic, but if for the person that's experiencing it, they don't know that. They think it's an actual auditory sound coming into their ears. So it's a real curious phenomena, but, it does come up. And I'm sure that they're not just really fast at picking up, dishes and stuff if they're smashing them or dragging furniture around and, or whatever. So I think it's just they can create those hallucinations for people to experience and to, make them uncomfortable. So very strange. All right. So the next one is from California. And it says, growing up has been, it says uneasy. Easy. Excuse me. When I was 5 years old, my family and I rented a house in the San Fernando Valley. Oh my God. I keep thinking of Valley Girls when I hear San Fernando Valley. Oh my God, bag your face. It was, I guess I'm dating myself, right? So you can tell how old I am. It was nice the first time I had my own room. It was the third day living in the house, and it was time for me to go to bed, so I did leave my my bedroom door open just in case I wanted to go to sleep with my parents. And I was just sitting in bed waiting for me to get sleepy, and I don't know why, but I just had to look up and look at the door. Right there under my doorway was the figure of a little boy. He appeared to be glowing white, and he was just looking at me. At this moment, I couldn't scream. I was just frozen. I couldn't run, so I did the third thing that popped into my head. I laid down and pulled my covers over my face and held them tightly with my eyes shut. I guess sometime after that, I drifted off to sleep, and the next morning I woke up and ran into my brother's bedroom, waking him up, and I told him what I had seen, and he said it was just my imagination. I told my parents, and they said the same thing, and I was mad at the fact that they didn't believe me. Being so afraid at what happened, I decided never to sleep in that room again. I shared rooms with my brother. Eventually, we rented out the bedroom to a woman with her child, but soon after, we moved out to an apartment building in Canoga Park. I'm sorry. I've been talking a lot today, and all the frogginess comes up all at once. In Canoga Park. The apartment only had 2 bedrooms, so I was just sharing a room with my brother, and I was relieved that he had moved out of the house, and everything was good until one night in my parents' bed while my mom was asleep. I woke up and looked around, and I couldn't go back to sleep, so I just laid there, and after some time I decided to sit up, and right when I did, I felt the feeling as if someone was watching me, so I looked around, and right in one corner of the bedroom, with barely any moonlight, I saw the shadow of a tall man wearing a hat. The Hat Man, ooh. Again, I couldn't scream and wake up my mom, who was sound asleep beside me. I was absolutely frozen with fright. I just rushed and grabbed the cover, pulled it over my face, and closed my eyes. The next morning, I woke up and told my mom of the dark shadow figure man in the hat. And of course, she didn't believe me, and I knew it wasn't my imagination. I knew that what I had seen was real, and it had been a ghost. I never saw the tall man again since that night, and nothing strange ever happened in the bedroom I shared with my brother. Once again, my family and I moved out to another apartment building in Laurel Canyon, and I was 8 at the time, and we moved, and I had never forgotten what I had experienced. Again, I shared rooms with my brother, and nothing happened until months later when I was alone at home. I was playing with my Barbies, and I went to the kitchen to get something to drink. And when I came back to my room, I started to feel really weird and scared. I felt as if someone was watching me again. I looked around, but I didn't see anything. And this continued on, and I always felt it everywhere I went. If I walked through the hallway, I always had to look behind me, and when I went to the bathroom, I was so scared of being alone in there. So I began to leave the bathroom door open whenever I went to the restroom or took a shower, and everyone thought I was just being stupid. My mom would always tell me there's no such thing as ghosts. And if you believe in God, nothing will ever happen to you. Now, we live in our very own house in Palmdale about 8 years now, And here's where my paranormal incidents happen the most. I've heard weird noises like footsteps going through the hallway, doors opening and closing when I'm home alone, lights turning on and off by themselves in the living room, TV turning on by itself when there's no one in the living room, bangs on the windows in my room and in my parents' bedroom. I've only witnessed the bangs in my bedroom window, but my brother has witnessed the one in my parents' room, and he says that he was lying down with my parents on my parents' bed watching TV when all of a sudden a loud, hard bang came from the window. He jumped and looked up at the window and saw nothing. He went outside to the backyard to my parents' window to see if there was a ball or anything that could have made the noise, but nothing. And the ones in my bedroom never happened during the day and in the middle of the night while I'm sleeping. The chandelier swinging back and forth in our living room as well. And of course, more ghosts. Like all teenagers, I would always be locked up in my room doing homework, listening to music, reading books, etc. And I started to get the feeling that I was alone, but I never saw anything. I think she meant I wasn't alone, but never saw anything. One day in my room, while at my desk, I felt someone was behind me, so I turned, but nothing. I went back to reading when I felt someone touch me. I turned around and nothing. Then I got up and went to my bed, and it happened again. Someone touched me, but this time it was on my cheek. And I felt like it was a little kid's hand. It would happen all the time in my bedroom, but soon I got used to it. And it never scared me anymore. Then, sometime after, I began to hear a woman's voice saying my name, and when I would be in my room. And at first I thought it was my mom. My mom would always call for me and to come and help her. So when I would hear it, I would go to my mom and ask her what she needed. And she would say, I didn't call for you. And I would say, yeah, I heard you say my name. And it started to happen more and more often. I thought it was really weird. If it wasn't my mom saying my name, then who? So I began to investigate, and every time it happened, I was in my room, with no one else there. And I waited for the day when I would be able to hear from where it was coming from, and that day did come. I was in my room listening to music, and it wasn't loud at all, and I heard the woman's voice say my name. I turned my stereos off and just stood there listening. I heard it again, and it sounded like it was outside of my room. So I walked and opened my door, and I looked out into the hallway, and nothing. And just then I heard it again, but coming from inside my room, behind me. I just freaked out and ran to where my mom was and told her what happened, and I believe that's the day my mom started believing me. She told my dad and brother, but they didn't believe me. And they said, how come we haven't seen anything or heard anything, and you have? And my response was, I don't know. I was so angry at the fact that they hadn't seen or heard anything. Why did it always happen to me? Why was I the only one? And I began to ask these questions to myself every day. More time passed and more incidents, and once I was taking a shower in my parents' bathroom, and it's those showers with the sliding door that is blurry, and well, I was washing my hair off, and I happened to open my eyes, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw a figure behind the sliding shower door. I got scared, and when I looked again, there was nobody there. And the bathroom door was locked. It had been locked. It had looked like a little boy from how short the person was, and they seemed to be wearing a blue shirt and blue jeans with brown hair. I told my mom of the incident, and all she could say was, just believe in God. The ghost in my bedroom who touched me was proved to be a little girl. Proved? Okay, I was walking past the hallway one day going straight to the kitchen when I saw something out of the corner of my eye. I stopped and turned and saw a little girl in a white dress with light brown curly hair smiling at me. I just smiled back and walked away. I guess she liked me and spent her time in my room because of all my girly things. Now, of the little boy, I never saw him again, but just recently before Thanksgiving, it was around 8 p.m., and I was in the living room, and my mom was sitting in the kitchen table, and I walked up to turn off the TV, and just as I was turning around, I heard the sound of a person crying. I got scared and stopped, and I was thinking to myself, did my mom happen to hear it too, or just me? I walked slowly towards her, and she looked straight at me, and I asked her if she heard it, and she responded, yes. And then she said it sounded like it was coming from behind me. We both agreed it was the voice of a little boy crying. The woman who would call my name was proven to be a family member who passed away, and she was here to take care of me. I really don't know why. Supposedly ghosts come to me because they want help, and I need to try and listen to what they're trying to tell me. So I guess this won't be the last of any ghost for me. I still get scared sometimes, but then again, I enjoy being able to tell my experiences to other people, and I love reading and hearing other people's stories as well. Yeah, she's a bit of a sensitive, I'd say. That's really cool. It's got to be really hard though, and I'm really thrilled that the mom finally heard something, instead of just dismissing it and be like, "Oh, it's your imagination. Get back to bed." That's got to be a horrible feeling if you're already terrified. You go and plead to your parents to help you out, and again, I said this last night, and I've said it many times on the show. You'd be like, "Oh, you're a little kid and you're hearing something terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. You're seeing something." You go to the one safe place you got, the one safe place you have, which is your parents. And they tell you, go to bed. It's too late. Quit corking around. Go to your room now. And you have to be forced to go back into the very place where, as far as you're concerned, monsters are. And I can't imagine a worse feeling for a little child. Oh, my God. Wow. I've gotten comments from last night's show when I was talking about that as well. And one of our listeners was telling me about their experiences with that. And it's like, wow, that's got to be horrible. But kids are tough, I guess, but they shouldn't have to be. Kids shouldn't have to be tough. All right. Next story that was a really long one. Wow. All right. Just looking to make sure now, ladies and gentlemen, the phone lines are open as always. Hey, Ginseng, good to see you. Deb, good to see you, my lady. Anybody else come in that I haven't seen yet? Pat Studio, good to see you. I don't see any other names here. That Digger Dog, good to see you, Digger Dog. I'm just looking at the names. Orange County Girl made it. Good. Simon, you're still here. Good. Okay. Well, if anybody else came in, say hi. I'll try to see it as well as I can. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying listening. Ginseng says, thanks, enjoying listening. Well, it's my pleasure. That's what I'm here for, believe it or not. That's what I'm here for. All right. Let's get to the next one, which is from Florida. All right, from Florida, what's going on here? I'm writing. Oh, did I give the phone number? The phone lines are open. If you want to call in, 720-923-0500. 720-923-0500. If you want to call in and share a story or some idea, I'd love to hear it. Lewis, loves the portal. Good, Lewis. We love you too, brother. Lewis is one of our oldest listeners. He's been with us since the way back time when I first started doing the show. He was probably in the audience on that first night, as a matter of fact. All right, I'm writing this on the basis that I really need some kind of help. Since October, I've been hearing knocks all around my house, and it started one night about 1 a.m., and I was having a hard time falling asleep, so I went to watch television. I'm sitting on the couch channel surfing, and I heard someone call me from my room. I go to my room and ask my husband what he needed, but he was out, so I blew it off as me just being tired. About 2 weeks later, I heard knocks under the house, but I dismissed it as the neighborhood cats under the house. That's what they dismissed it as. It's possible, I guess. Well, a little while after the cats under the house, I went to bed and thought nothing of it until I heard 3 really loud bangs on my front door. So I went to get a golf club and see who was at the door, and when I got there, there was nobody. So I started to look around the house and down the road and nothing there, and well, It stopped for a while after that night. Then shortly before Thanksgiving, I was home alone getting ready to take a shower, and on the bathroom door I heard bang, bang, bang. Well, maybe Tim came home early. He was letting me know he was home. I poked my head out the door, but nobody was there, so I yelled, "Tim, what are you doing home so soon?" I got no response. I was thoroughly freaked out. Nothing happened after that until last Friday when my mom came over to see the kids and I, and as I'm getting ready to go, she yells at me and says, "Someone was at the door," so I went to answer, but nobody was there. My poor mom nearly had a stroke over the whole story, and she was very mad at me for not telling her, but I needed to make sure that it wasn't just me, so I've just been sitting back and observing, trying to figure out exactly what is going on. This is the only time besides telling my mom that I've spoken of these incidents, and I really need help with what is going on. Mainly, I don't feel anything good or bad, just strange things going on. And as to date, I've not seen anything. I do know that it's not the house settling. That is a totally different sound. So here's the thing. This is an old legend, but, there's a lot of wisdom in these old legends. And the story goes, I don't know how old this is, but it goes way, way back. But it says, if you ever hear knocking at your door in the night and you go to answer it and nobody's there, you may very well have just let a spirit in. So if there's knocking on your door, look out a window. Look out. Verify before you open that door. That's all I'm saying. Because you never know. I mean, those old kind of wife tales may seem kind of silly, but are they based on something? Are they based on some esoteric truth? I don't know. But if it means inadvertently letting something ugly into your house and having to deal with it, it's easy enough just to use a peephole or look out a window before you open the door. If you don't see anybody, then don't open the door. So I just think it's better to be safe than sorry. So true. Thank you, Gemini. I'm glad got my back. What? Oh, scary. Yeah, that is kind of spooky. That whole knocking thing is terrible. I'm not saying don't answer your door. I'm just saying make sure there's someone there that you have to answer it for. It's just an old wives' tale, but it says, if you ever hear knocking at your door at night and you go to answer it and nobody's there, you might have just let something in. It happened here at this house. I swear to God. I was downstairs right here, and it was 11:30 at night on a winter night, mind you. It was a winter night, so it's cold in northern Idaho here. And my doorbell rang at like 11:30 something at night, or maybe it was a little closer to 12. I mean, I got up out of my chair because I'm thinking, why the hell is someone here so late? Something must be really wrong. So it literally took me all of like 8 seconds to get out and answer the door, look out. And I looked out and nobody was there. And now I have a double entry. I have a glass door. It has glass panels, and then I have an inside door, and there's like a mud room in between. So I opened the door and looked right out the glass door, and there was no one there. And I'm like, I see what's going on here. And I did look outside eventually, and there was no tracks in the snow or anything. But somehow my doorbell rang at 11:30-ish at night. And it was a weeknight, too, so it was like a school night. It's not like there would have been kids corking around. And if there were, I would have seen the footprints. So that's a true story. I guess that stuff happens. I don't know who was swinging by. And that was, as far as I know, that was the end of the whole experience. But could I have let something in? I guess. I didn't really know about this at the time. But in my research since, I stumbled across that and went, oops. So now I look. If I don't see anything, I'm not opening that door. All right. So let's go to the next one. Do you believe in things like that? Do you guys? Is there any truth to those old wisdoms? You have to let me know. And if you're watching this after the live fact, let me know in the comments what you think about those old, whether they're superstitions or wives' tales or whatever you want to call them. Do you believe there's any truth to those? I'm curious. All right. Hey, Duke. Welcome to the show. The Duke is in. But yeah, that's pretty bad. I do have a call, and this is Miss Deb is calling me. Hi, Miss Deb. Miss Deb. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. How long you been on hold? You've been
Oh,
on.
not too long.
Okay, good, good. How are you tonight?
I'm fine.
Good. Have you ever heard of that story about not opening the door?
Oh, I normally look before I open my door.
Okay, have you heard that before though about letting something in?
There was mention of it a long, long time ago.
Yeah, I think it's a real old tale. And then when I stumbled onto it, I was like, "Ooh, I opened once." So I might have invited something in then, but I've since cleansed it out. I'm sure.
I would hope so by now.
Yeah. Well, actually, come to think of it, that TV freezing incident of that face of Charlie Sheen, and infamous written in ghostly letters under it was after that. So it very well might have been the same thing.
Oh.
Yeah. Ooh. That's another story, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not familiar with it, you'll have to check some of our old shows. You'll come across it. I've mentioned it a few times, but what's on your mind tonight?
Oh, I thought I would tell you about something that happened to me last night.
Woo.
After I had told everybody good night,
Mm-hmm.
I headed out, and as I was coming back through my bedroom, of course it was dark in there, I was coming back through my bedroom and through to the den.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought Luna had followed me. Well, as I was coming up to the doorway, I felt a nose and whiskers in my hand. And I was like, "Come on, Luna." And about that time, I looked up and I had to focus. Luna was standing in the middle of the den. So it had to have been one of my fur babies, and I'm automatically it's like, "Hey, Max," and that's the one I just lost a couple of years ago.
Oh.
So I figured one of my little fur babies came back to visit me. It was so cool.
Oh, that's wonderful. Now, you being a psychic, do they come and go kind of like human spirits do, or do they stick with us, just always in our presence?
They come and go.
Okay.
They it's just like humans. One puppy that I had to give up. I knew he had something wrong with him, and I mean, I had him to where he was acting normal. But when I read up, they only lived to be about 18 months old, and I had to give him up. And I knew that they had euthanized him because he came back to visit me. He's been back and forth here a couple of times. His name was Stinky McStink.
That's
But I've seen him a few times, and Luna has seen him too. She'll get up and look at him, and she'll bark at him a little bit, and then she'll go sit down.
what an adorable name.
It fit him. It really. If you had ever seen him, it fit him. It really did.
Oh, that's funny. Wow, that's a really cool experience, though.
It was. It
Mm.
was just. That was awesome to have something like that happen before I went to bed. It was just so cool.
That is really neat. Yeah, I think they're there. My mom still tells me stories of how she feels her dog, who is named Tucker, jump up on the bed and step around in circles and find his spot and then plop down, even though he's been dead for years.
Mhm.
She still feels him do
Yeah.
that. Not every night, but every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do. Some of them will come and stay pretty long periods of time. Others will come and go, and yeah, but they're around us. Yeah, just the same as our families come back to visit with us. Our little animals will come and visit too.
That's really cool. Now, do you suppose the length of their stay, maybe they come because they're needed to be there? Like, as for whatever reason, for maybe energetically they need to be there, or protectively they need to be there, and they stick around as long as they have to, that kind of thing.
That's a good possibility.
Mm.
I know there has been times when if I've been kind of down, I've noticed they've been here, especially Stinky. He tends to be around when if I've had like an off day or something like that, I'll see him of the evening trotting around.
Aw, and what kind of animal was he?
Stinky,
Yeah.
he was he was a mix pit bull and oh lordy mercy, pit bull and What was Max? Oh, if you hadn't asked me, I could tell you. Rottweiler.
Rottweiler. Okay. Pitbull and
Yeah.
Rottweiler. Well, it's probably a really wonderful dog, yeah?
He was sweet. Oh, he was just so sweet. Bless his heart.
Wow. Very cool.
And I read up on what he had, and there was like only one in a certain amount of births that would happen. And he was the second one that we had had like that.
Mm-hmm.
We had lost the first one. Of course, he didn't even make it to a year and a half. And then, like I said, I had to give up Stinky. And
Mm-hmm.
those, out of all the puppies that we had, those were the only two that had it.
You know,
They're little.
do you have cats as well?
No, I had cats growing up. But when I got older and figured out they had attitudes bigger than mine, I decided I wasn't having cats anymore.
Oh, that's funny. I just was going to ask you a question about cats because and it might just be the frisky cat thing to do. I don't know. I mean, I've had cats my whole life, and I've not experienced this before. But then again, I've mostly had female cats, and I've had a few male cats, but usually their presence is short lived. In that, I had one run away. I guess there was only one other male. Now that I think about it. And he just decided his time was done, and he took off. But when he was with me, I had just had an emergency appendectomy, and I couldn't do much of anything. And that cat, he was really aloof, but during that period of time, he stayed right on me. He laid on my stomach, really gently, and it didn't hurt. But he would only get up to use the bathroom and to eat and drink and then come back and get right back there. And he stayed with me until I was able to get up and move reasonably on my own. And that's when my mom came over and visited and left the door open just a bit. She didn't get it closed all the way or something, and he took off. He wasn't fixed, though, either. So I think he had the itch. But I just found that, for cats, I think they're such energetic beings, but I'm not sure about dogs. I know they're incredible protectors and they're incredibly loving and have an amazing energy too, but I think cats are really, well, I guess they're all therapeutic, but that's a different kind of energy,
There is, because like I said, I had cats, when I was younger, so I understand having cats around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We got one now. Anubis is here now, but what I was going to say about him is that he just suddenly he'll just be petting, he'll be absolutely mellow, and all of a sudden his ears will perk up weird, and he'll just get this like hyper, I don't know, energy or something. And next thing I know, he's tearing up and down the house, back and forth, and then all of a sudden he'll be done and he'll just plop down. And I'm like, is he playing with something, or is this normal for cats? I don't know what the hell he's doing.
Cats tend to do that. They're really weird, and especially if you watch them. If there's a storm coming in, cats will get really playful and go really wild.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess maybe he's responding to an energy then. I didn't know what it was, but it was just like, wow, this is really strange. Very strange.
Mm-hmm.
Well, very cool. I really appreciate you calling in. You got an early day tomorrow?
Yeah, but I said I was going to come in and at least spend a few minutes with you all, but I had to let you know about that. That
is really cool.
Yeah, that was kind of special.
That's really, really cool. Thank you so much for calling in and being a part of more shows. It's always a pleasure, ma'am.
Yeah. Always a pleasure here, too. Okay, good night, everybody.
All right, love you.
Love you. Bye.
See ya. That's awesome. That's Miss Deb. Now I understand I got an email here, and I'm just opening it up, so just stand by a second while I'm looking at what the hell. Oh, I saw these pictures before, but where? I think, okay. Right. Okay. So this is cool. And honestly, I did see these pictures before. I'll show them on the screen. Let me just save them first, because I don't want to put out people's identities and stuff. But Let me do this. Let me save these files quick, ladies and gentlemen. Just talk nicely amongst yourselves, and I'll be right with you. I have to save these pictures. Hold on just a second while I do this. Let me see. Where can I put them? I'll make a new folder quick. I'll put them in the new folder, and then we'll discuss. We will discuss. Okay. I just got to call this. Okay, one. That looks like a slapped ham. Must have come from a slapped ham video. Save images. I think we'll call this Dogfoot 2. This is really curious. I think I seem to remember a background on this, but let me look at it quick first. Oh, that's a video link. Okay. So there's a couple pictures on here that are really... It says, Brent, this tripped me out. This picture is what I believe are dogman feet captured by a trail cam. The link from the video is above. This link has 11 trail cam photos that can't be explained. I remember one you were talking about photo or video evidence, and to trust your gut when viewing these types of stuff. Not everyone can be lying, so it's not all CG. I agree. Just wanted to share so you can find. You can't find this photo everywhere, only on this one site. That's the curiosity, and let me get everything ready here, and I'll pull it up so everybody can see it. But these pictures are really incredible. But and here's the hard part, ladies and gentlemen, as well, is that when you're looking at these evidences, and they may be real, they may not. You have to use some kind of critical judgment on everything you see online, because chances are there's a lot of people just trying to get some attention and to get noticed, or to pull a hoax. I mean, that's just a big thing for some people, is pulling hoaxes. But no matter what you find, if you look on the comments of anything, it's going to say, oh, this was proven to be a hoax. Yeah, it came out that this was a hoax. Now, I did see that in regards to these prints, and it very well might have been. Or it might have been an art project. I think this one was claimed to be an art project by a sculptor or something like that. But I don't know that for a fact. Now, these are really compelling images, but I do believe they're on some kind of sculpture. As I recall, I think I might have seen some images of the sculpture itself, but I'm not sure. It's been a long, long time since I've seen these photos. But here's the photos in question, and they may have come from a trail cam. And if they are indeed real, then oh my God. So could these potentially be a dogman's foot? Now, the interesting thing is, and let me get to the next one. I'm trying to get to the next one. It's not letting me get to the next one. Come on. Oh, that's zoomed in. That's cool. I didn't know it did that. Just learned something new. Zoom in, zoom out. They could very well be from a sculpture, but is it possible they're real? Well, I know it's possible that they are, because I don't recognize anything that has a foot like this. Now, am I a biologist or anything? No, I'm not. And it's not that I would recognize every print out there. Let me go back to my camera here, and then I'll pull up the second one, because it's not doing it automatically for whatever reason. It should, but it's not. Let me pull up the second one in this series here. So let me go to 2. And yeah, this is a real close-up. So I guess the first one was probably actually the better. Let me pull up this one. Yeah, this one is actually the better. But again, I don't remember the backstory on these that was claimed. But now here's the thing. There are people that work overtime to try to cast doubt on everything. And on the internet, it's particularly easy. You just have to say, those were proven to be fake. But once you ask for, okay, where did you find this? So show me a link. Well, then all of a sudden they don't respond. And they're there responding to other things, but they won't respond to that. So I do believe that sometimes people are actually putting out real proof. But there are those individuals out there that just want to poop in the bed, because they maybe want to have their own proof. It could be other researchers. It could be just people that don't want their paradigm changed. It could be any number of things. But all you have to do on the internet is say, "Oh, this is ridiculous. These were proven to be a hoax," and about 80% of people will go, "Oh, well, then it's just dumb. It's already been proven." But once you start pressing for details, it's hard. Now, for these, I don't remember again whether or not they were actually indeed proven. I know there was a claim that these were a part of a sculpture, but I don't recall if I've seen the full image or not. But I believe, God, as I recall, it was like at a museum or some kind of waxworks kind of thing, where somebody just did a close up of the feet, and it was actually part of a display. But again, I'm not positive. But these could they be real? Sure, they look incredibly well done. If they are a hoax, they're brilliantly done. If they're real, they're absolutely terrifying. But, I just recall that. And I'm sure if you look hard enough, you can probably find more information about it. And if you could let me know so that I can refer to that on the show, I will look as well. But if these are real, this is terrifying. I mean, that's really spooky. Now, what would it be? I mean, I believe dogmen are out there, so I guess having pictures of their feet could happen. It wouldn't be impossible if they are indeed out there that their feet may show up on a trail cam somewhere. But really cool. I really, really appreciate you sharing those. And thank you so much. I wish I could recall the details of that, though. That's the part that's troubling me, but I don't know. It's been years since I've seen these, but yeah, when I first saw them, I was like, oh my God, that is just terrifying. But, if anybody has any more information on those, please let me know. I'd love to hear more of the backstory behind that or whatever anybody's heard. Nobody in chat saying anything? Okay. No pooping in the bed. Well, you know what I'm saying, though? There's people out there that just love, it doesn't matter what the video is about. Oh, it's fake. It's a fake. And that actually drives me up a wall because it's like, I'm not saying it can't be a fake, but what drives me up a wall is that easy out when people go, oh, that's fake. Okay, well, what do you see? And I always press people for that. It's like, if I ever see, well, that's fake, I always type, well, what are you seeing that is indicating to you that this is a fake? What is it specifically? Because if they're right, I want to know. And I want to know what they're seeing to help educate me. And honest to God, that's the truth. But if they're just being dicks, then I want them to be called out on that. If they can't substantiate their argument, they should just be shutting the hell up, I mean, really, and I'm not meaning to be harsh or cruel, but this socially challenged people on the internet, when they go unchallenged completely, it's, it's like, most people's, rebuttal for it's fake is, well, they can't possibly be real. And, well, sure it can. Reality is dynamic. Reality is fluid. You can't just say fake because it doesn't fit into your paradigm. That doesn't qualify it for the rest of us. So I think it's important if somebody's going to make those claims that they substantiate that. So that's what I mean by the pooping in the bed thing. It's like they'll just say fake because they don't want to deal with the possible reality of it. And they know that just by saying that, it'll cause most people to back away and go, oh, well, that's been called a fake. I don't want to be associated with that. Because everybody's so worried about their professional reputations in the paranormal community. It's like, I don't claim to know whether everything's real or not. I just try to use some critical thinking, and if I can't debunk it, then it's possible. So, and I think that's okay to have an open mind. But anyway, very cool. I think that's pretty amazing. And, oh, hey, Sam, good to see you. I'm glad you popped in. Glad you popped in. It's about time. We was going to go looking for you. Sorry. I'm a little punchy. It's been a long day, but I got a lot done today. I got a lot of things done. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, to remember, I'm going to keep saying this throughout the week. Our Friday episode and Saturday episode are going to be hosted by our very own Mr. Don Longbeard. He's going to be manning the ship for us. And so it's going to be his boat. He's going to be sailing the USS Paranormal Portal through the oceans of the abyss. And so you guys will have to be here and help him through that. I'm sure he'll do wonderful. I think he's really excited to take the helm for a couple nights, but I have to be out of town. I can't be here, and it'll save me a lot. I mean, it's a great thing because I know Don is plenty capable of taking care of things in my absence, but it's also really cool because then I don't have to plan out 4 hours of episodes. Actually 5, because I got to do a scheduled premiere for Saturday or Sunday's episode as well. But I would have to pre-plan 5 hours of show. But Don said, no, I'll do it. So I was like, yes, great. So Don will be commanding the ship, just so you know. It's not like I'm trying to close up the show here yet. We got lots more to get through. Well, maybe not lots more. It's already been 50 minutes. But let's do a story or two. What do you guys say? All right. Oh, you leaving, Renee? What are you leaving for? I ain't done yet. I just getting started up in here. All right, let's see what's going on here. This one's from New York. It's a short story. What the hell? Oh, there he is. I'm not going anywhere. Oh, I'll talk to you later. I'll talk to you later, Mr. Nosy. I got people texting me. Hey, what's going on? I'll tell you later. All right. So anyway, all right. So this is coming out of New York. My brother's name is Jay, but he died when I was 14 years old, and he died of bone cancer. Oh man, that's horrible. That's got to be a painful way to go. Poor kid. I've seen and heard his spirit many times, and I was about 2 years old. I heard a voice say, "Watch out," in a spooky voice. The next second, I was flying through the air. I got hit by a car, and there was no one around to say, "Watch out," so it couldn't have been my dad or a neighbor. Another time was when a rock was flying towards the back of my head, and before it could hit me, something pushed me down, and it missed. No one was behind me when I looked, and I noticed something really weird. Whenever I'm about to get hurt, I hear the same teenage voice. And when I turned 9 years old, I figured it out. My brother's ghost was out there to protect me. I'm very grateful and very scared. I'm very grateful because the brother that I've never knew is kind of like my guardian angel. And I'm scared because I'm dealing with a ghost. Well, don't be scared. Obviously, he loves you. Every now and then I hear voices, but I'm not afraid. That's because I have a wonderful brother. Even as a ghost, he will do anything to protect me, and for that I am grateful. I love my brother Jay, and nothing can ever change that. And when I grow old and die, I hope to be in heaven peacefully with my brother and my family. I need your help. Can someone comment on my story telling me if I can trust this ghost? Well, that's a really big brick to put on other people. If you don't feel threatened by it and it's been helping you, I'd say you're probably okay. All right. What did he say? What's going on here? Oh, it's just a repeat of that. All right. I guess I have to acknowledge it, otherwise it'll spit it back at me again. All right, next one's California, another short one, ladies and gentlemen. Last week, I returned home from Oak Harbor, Washington, where I live happily with my boyfriend to visit my parents in old Camarillo, California. It's the holidays, so with lots of people in and out of the house, I was naturally a bit tired. I walked upstairs to my old childhood room to catch some Z's, and I was drifting off dreaming, or so I thought. I'm afraid and fighting. I can't remember so much what my dream was about, though trying. That's almost not important. What is important is that I awoke to my hands being held down, my head demobilized by restraint of an unknown force, and my eyes being the only thing that I can move, and I catch a slight glimpse. It was a ghost struggling to keep me from seeing its face. I couldn't move. In fact, I couldn't breathe. It took one finger and stabbed into my side, which stung like energy shock, a pain I never knew. I finally managed, and through the loud grumblings of this ghost, who by now had its hands around my throat and shoulders, to ever so slightly move my head and mutter, "I can see you." It was very soft. Almost as soon as I said it, the experience was over. It was gone along with my fear. Since then, my mother has seen the ghost of a man in our house, though I have not since that night. But I do have one long bruise on my side from the finger he dragged against me. It won't seem to go away. Sounds like you need yourself some Reiki. Got to balance that energy out. That doesn't sound good. You don't want any ghost energies lingering in you. I don't know why I'm chuckling. That's not really funny, but it just made me chuckle. I don't know. All right, the last one for the night. No, I got two more. I guess two more. And the last one's from Minnesota, Dukes. You're going to have to stick around for this. Colorado is the second to last one, and it says, I'm not sure if I can be a reincarnation or not, and there's a reason why I need to find out. First, years back, my mom woke up before I was about to be born. She claimed she saw an angel at her doorway telling her, it's coming. Recently, she told me that she also woke up in the middle of the night seeing a ghost that seemed very similar to me, and the ghost told her, be good. I've never found out what the ghost's point of view was, but my mother told me it looked like me except all grown up. Did I die temporarily and then wake up the next day? Could I be the reincarnation to help with something? I have no clue if reincarnations are real, and all this ghost stuff started happening when we moved into another neighborhood about 4 years back. Of course, a haunted road is near the neighborhood. It's all so confusing. I also know that there's a ghost following me around. I feel it with me during my classes because of the sudden chill I get every once in a while in a warm room. I've had some psychic and ghost experiences also. For example, I had a dream that this person had this expression on their face with other details from the dream, of course. The day I woke up, it seemed as if I were able to concentrate hard and create that expression on the person's face. I saw the exact expression from the dream. I don't know what the hell that means. I'm not following what they're saying. Everything seems weird to me. I know I only stated random clues, but can you please give me some facts? Thank you tons. Well, sorry, I don't think I can, but hope you did get the help you needed. All right, so this is Minnesota, the land of my ute. We moved into our house about 2 years ago, and I got the room in the basement, and my cousin got the one next to mine, and I was never a believer of ghosts. I used to hear stories about hauntings and how people witness events, and I really used to laugh at it. A couple months later in December, I got real sick with the flu, and I was watching my little cousin Desiree, and I finally fell asleep when I got this urge to wake up, and I looked around, and my dad left a note that hand, my hand? Oh, I guess his little brother's name is Hand. My little brother and cousins went to our grandmother's house and will be back soon. So I grabbed the clicker, and then I heard loud running up the stairs, and I looked to see who it was, but no one was there. And there was no way that was the house settling. That was far too loud to be that. A couple weeks later, I got on the phone, and someone else was on the phone. I said, hello? Who's on the phone? Then it slammed down. I ran up to the other phone because maybe it was someone goofing off with me, but my mom was cooking in the kitchen, and I asked, Mom, were you just on the phone? And she said, no, why? Well, I just walked away. One morning in January 9th, 2007, I had to get up for doctor appointments. I got into the shower and washed up when the shower hose lifted up and whacked me in the face. Wow. Later, my brother said that the night before, he heard someone crying in the bathroom. I said maybe it was just the TV, and he said, put it on our grandpa's grave. He wouldn't do that if it wasn't true. So I guess it was like swearing, like swear that it's true. Okay. Later, my dad wanted a family picture so we can give it to our grandparents for their anniversary. We gathered and we did, and my mom told my dad we had to take it back, and he said, why? She said, because there's this black cloud smudge thing over our heads. I looked and I almost fell over because if you were me, you'd think the same thing, and that was no mistake. But we also have the bed pushed down only in one spot. My movie kept skipping this part that said, There's no escaping the dark side. There's no escaping the dark side. And then I was convinced that my house is indeed haunted. I guess that'd do it. If your movie skips and says there's no escaping the dark side, that might be a bad omen. I'm just saying. So what I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, is that's going to wrap it up for tonight. But we will be back. Don and I both will be back tomorrow. We got a Wednesday show coming up, 2 hours of mayhem that I'm sure will be a laugh riot and a good time. So I hope you guys are able to make it and come join us. It'll be 7 p.m. Pacific time right here on YouTube. So other than that, I hope you guys are doing wonderful. Thank you so much for all of you who have been here, keeping me company tonight. You guys are amazing. I love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice, take care of each other, help each other out. Find the magic in every day and remember to laugh as much as you can. And tomorrow's podcast will be all ready to go at midnight. It's all set up and scheduled, so it'll be released, and it's Alien Abductions and UFOs Part 2. So Don and I chatting about all that. So good show, and I hope you guys will check it out. Thank you guys so much, and a special thanks to Revolver Podcast for making our podcasting possible. So I love you guys, and we'll talk to you soon. And be good, and just know, wherever you are, I'm thinking about you. That sounds really creepy, doesn't it? I meant it to sound sweet, but I'm not sure that worked. So anyway, guys, we'll talk to you soon. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night, and sweet dreams.